back into the community, having the power to gain a job and be gainfully employed and all that, it's become, it's nil. So what do? You get back in the same old circles. Why? Because the capitalist system means capital. Capital is money. How am I going to get this dollar? How am I going to get this buck? Get back on the street, man.
And
I got
Brother
I got another solution for you. What we can do and what they've done, let me tell you something. The criminal element has not gone away and it's not going. Unfortunately, because it's the mentality. It's been embedded. It's almost like the inculcation, indoctrination of a person is gain dollars. We don't talk about who are you. The first thing we say is, Mike, what do you do? Not how are you or who are you or what are you.
Right.
So
That's true.
so when you tell me about what you do, then that's telling me almost like your earning powers without telling me how much money you make. So what I'm saying in a very short way to turn this around is that we have to change a new dynamic and mentality of people. And this is what I was saying, what I was doing with the mentorship program. You have to bring people into a conscious mindset of thinking about community. Everything we do here is one. iPhone, YouTube.
Yes.
Everything is singular, not,
We.
commercial, right? Not as us as collective.
Right.
So what I'm thinking, what we should do more than anything else is bring back those programs that they have. And we have babies in jail. Come on. We have babies in jail. I watched Obama last night, and he talked about all the different things that's going on in the country and fine and dandy, what we're going to do to uplift the earning powers and start, economic strengths. Do you know if we took all of those young African and Hispanic men in jail and gave them a viable tutelage or a skill so that this way they could come back into the community and be a help to us as a society, then things would be good.
Well, Malik, they used to do that. They used to have education in the prison system. But people,
Yes.
moaned and complained, and they said, I remember this one man saying, I got to pay, $40,000 for my child to go to college, but these guys can commit a crime and get an education while they're in jail.
Right.
Well, prison is supposed to be, not really, it's supposed to be rehabilitation.
Yes.
But there is no rehabilitation.
right.
Because if you go to jail for, selling marijuana, you could come out learning how to rob a bank or something weird like that, because you're
People
not
can
really,
associate that.
you're not, you're not really learning how to be a better human being. But when you have the education, and I happen to have a friend who passed away a couple of years ago, Latif Islam, who was a perfect example of what that education, he got his bachelor's degree while he was in prison, and he became a model in the community up in Dutchess County and Poughkeepsie. And I'll never forget this as long as I live, because they were the last group to be
That's
able
right.
to get that
Right.
education, and they changed their entire lives.
Yes.
And when that was removed, now you have things like rapes going on in the jail system. What does that do to a man when he's raped? What it does to any human being when they're raped. What about the diseases that go on? And
Yes.
for the people to think that that's a normal thing, the people in the jail say, well, that's a given, that's going to happen. But it shouldn't be. And what about these poor children who have to say, my daddy's in jail or my mommy's in jail, and then they don't just go to jail, they ship them way up to near Buffalo or someplace, so it's even difficult for them to even get to
visit.
see them.
Yes,
I used to be a part of a group that would help drive, family members, mothers, and children to the prisons so that they can get to see
Yes.
their fathers and their moms and their
And let me just say
sons.
this, that also turned into an industry.
Yes.
That turned into an industry.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, my suggestion, and I mean, it's not a real suggestion, but I think that the younger people are our future. And I think that
that's
education is the key.
Yes.
Yep.
And part of the reason why I wrote Discovering Black America was so that the young people, especially the children of color, could understand their history, which hasn't been accurately told
Absolutely,
in many instances, and so that they can see the young people that are in this book who have overcome extremely challenging situations. I mean, slavery was no joke.
Right.
I mean, and to come out the other end of slavery and be productive and become doctors and inventors and journalists and teachers entertainers even. I mean, it's quite an amazing journey that the African American has
Still we rise.
Right, and still, and I think that story told over and over again to our young people will instill pride. And when you're prideful, and when you believe that you are somebody, you really don't act like nobody cares. And that's really the beginning, because I think about how I was raised. I mean, the church was important. My mother made us go to Sunday school. I mean, yeah, Sunday school was very social, and it was a place where all our friends were. And she made us sing in the choir. So when on Sunday, we would start out at 9:30 in Sunday school, go to church at 11, and wouldn't get out until 1. But the one thing she allowed us to do is have company. And people would come over, and we would dance, and we would snack. And so there was this whole community of young people that grew up in our house.
Right, and we need to get back to a lot of those things, like Linda said.
It's community.
And the young parents that are having children need to understand we just haven't been able to pass a lot of this stuff on. It's like it stopped somewhere.
Yes,
you know, it stopped. Like I guess maybe after Martin Luther King died or something. I don't know what happened, but we just don't have that same kind of value system that we have. But I think you're right, both in the sense that education is going to play a major factor in how we now have to start putting things together in our own communities, like the two of you have done, you with your mentorship and you with the books and going to the schools to talk to the students. We still have to deal, unfortunately, with the prison system, because we do have people that are going to come out and that are going to go in.
They're bad people.
And absolutely, but those who are not, and there needs to be a way like what they have for immigrants that come over to the country. They have places here where they can go to certain places where they can kind of like, what do you call it when I want to say merge into the system, where they have help, they have that support. And we need a support system for men and women who have served their time. They've done, and they should still be able to vote. There's something wrong with that. If you had your liberties taken away for X amount of years, and you've done your time and you served, and you've been punished, you should be able to get that back.
Yeah, let me just say something, Ivy. Again, don't shoot me.
Okay.
Racism, white supremacy. Okay, the two components that are missing from the African peoples. When we talk about culture, when we talk about heritage, when we talk about our understanding of who we are, we think different. We are different. We're not the same. There's nothing wrong with being different. Different does not mean deficient.
Right.
It just means different. You understand? So when we talk about the culture and what we used to have as African peoples, you said, well, maybe when King died, that's when we lost it. We have always had to, how would you say, maturate ourselves into somebody else's ideal. All right? We didn't come up in the Euro. We came up in the Euro ideal. Okay? Not an Afro. Okay? And that's the big difference. For me, that's my big component. Because the Eurocentric paradigm is different from the Afrocentric paradigm. But we didn't able to get that because we were stolen people. When I say slaves, we're not just slaves. We're stolen people. We didn't come over here in Ellis Island. We didn't go in to be American citizens. Matter of fact, I was talking to a friend the other day, and I don't remember ever taking a citizen's test and be asked that I'm a citizen. It's only because my grandparents and forefathers were stolen, and because I was neutralized because I was born in this country, did I become a citizen.
Right.
You understand me?
Right.
Yes.
Where other people who were immigrants that came here, they pledged to the American flag and learned who was the first presidents and everything else to become citizens.
That's right.
But not us.
Right.
And that's important.
So
That's
we
impacting.
have to. So with all that, now I'm so glad both of you came by. We could go on because the show is only 30 minutes, and unfortunately we always have to cut it short. But that doesn't mean that outside of this we can't. We need to do this. We need to do more of these shows. We need to educate people on who we are as a people, what we experience, and the fact that we still can overcome a lot of the things that we've done. And you both are doing something very positive. Again, we have Brother Malik, who has his mentorship, New Heads, and we have Miss Linda Tarrant Reed, whose book, absolutely, we have to run out and get it. I need to take a
I need
copy
that for my
myself.
mentorship
Yes,
program.
Discovering
Absolutely.
Black America.
That's right.
And I want to thank both of you for being here with us today. And, you know, please come and visit us again.
We will. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for
Thank
having me.
you.
sister.
That's
Thank you
it
very
for
much.
us for
Thank you.
today, and we'll see you next week on Fade to Black.